Tell me where to go, what to do. Get it poppin', put it.
I turned off the heat earlier because it was freezing cold, and I'm not feeling. Alrighty. Let me pull this up. There we go. Now we just need to drag Paul's ass in here. Ready when you are, brother. Hey, brother. The voice is getting deeper by the moment. Oh, shit. Those who played Dash Star in the starting point. Yeah.
Howdy doodly.
How we doing?
Oh, we were debating
Oh, God.
Pacers ideas.
Oh, no. So teams nobody gives a shit about. Got it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I was in the office today. The only bit that I saw...
They own New York.
No. But I will say I was in the office and we had ESPN on the TVs. And what I saw was that apparently they're projecting it to be like an OKC Boston final in some capacity. I don't know. That's a stat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, Indiana ain't in it. Got it. Noted.
Well, yeah. ESPN, I won't say... I mean this as kindly as I can to some of the people you know. I think ESPN basketball people, I can live with them not knowing my team too well. I think, I don't know if their hit rate's too good. I think Stephen A is more of an entertainer than he is a knowledgeable man on the subject.
I got a comment on that for obvious reasons. In case I happen to see Stephen A. in the cafeteria at any point, I would rather not. Not that he would ever see this tiny little podcast, but you got LeBron calling
Yeah.
him out for shit. So I'm not taking my chances right now.
I'm trying to see their money. Because we were debating if the Pacers could try to bring in Durant.
There's no way.
Obviously, I'm against that because
You
I
want
love
to
my
be, you want to
team.
be small boy team.
No, he's just old. And I don't really know what he adds.
All right,
I
that's
mean,
fair.
well, he adds some things, but I just don't think we play a very fast-paced, like move the ball style, and we keep high tempo. It's basically the Pacers play North Carolina style in the pros.
Oh God, of course he
I'm
found
not
a
even
way to
kidding.
yeah,
It's
of
the
course he
same
did.
thing. They're both like called bad defensive teams who play too high tempo to ever win anything. And I think that's not true. But we shall see.
No, I cleaned out pan. Like I scrubbed the pan.
that's a cocoa poop on the floor.
Sorry, Emily thought that somebody shit in our trash can.
No,
You're good.
cocoa pooped on the floor. Oh yeah, someone shit in our trash can. Some random person.
Yeah. Welcome everybody to Crossover Podcast, episode 163. If you hear me stuffy at all over the last 8 hours or so, give or take, I have stuffed up pretty bad. Cold is starting to hit me. I'm curious to see how long this takes to get over, so my voice might be a little bit deeper for the time being, but the content grind doesn't stop. Speaking of grind never stopping, how's fatherhood? You're
Pretty
a
good.
week and 2 days into it now.
I'm enjoying it.
Enough shitty diapers for one life, or still going at it strong?
It's not too bad. I mean, I'd say it's kind of just what you would expect. Like, she cries a lot, and then you learn how to get her not to, and then it all just works itself out. I know, like, people would be like, oh, there's so much other stuff they probably want me to add, but I really do think it's just she cries, you do what you can, and you move on.
What's gonna
That's
happen
about
when
it.
What's gonna happen when she cries later in life, and it's not as simple as burp, feed.
Improvise, adapt, and overcome, like always. Just continue my improvising and adapting.
Oh, Jesus, Paul, the role model father for everybody.
Yeah. Just keep adapting and doing your best. I mean,
Keep getting those Clash of Clans licks in whenever you can. Call it
yeah.
good.
There's not a ton you can do.
I'm curious, has it kept you up enough to the point where you've been able to watch First Stand?
No, I haven't been able to watch that too much. I think. Trying to think, like. Usually she's up at around 7. So I can catch the end of a game maybe, but I would rather just watch the highlights from there because the watching the end would just spoil the whole day for me, so I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
So instead I'll watch highlights. And then there's just not a lot of I don't know, there's not too much to really do after those first stand games because like the discussion threads haven't been too nuts. Today's was pretty good because of the KC upset over Tom.
Yep.
But I would say in general, this one has been. I've been surprised. It has not been cooking.
What do you mean?
People are like
Just people not talking
There
about
hasn't been a lot of interaction with first stand. I feel like.
No, I think it's reminiscent of the rest of the split for now. I think our worry about this not being taken seriously by the community because of how the first split was treated has pretty much happened spot on at this point. I think it's been a blast of a tournament so far. Bunch of good
been
upsets. Like if you look at the tournament itself objectively, I would say it's been one of the best that we've had in a bit. Like I can't even remember the last time like we had MSI format like this that we actually had this amount of drama and upsets going on, like it helps that Homo Life is like so far above everybody else that the rest of us can kind of just like kick it down in the mud. There's not like these two teams that are so much better than everybody else. Like it's top is realistically down with everybody else, even if there's kind of like a circle of suck going on below that.
Present.
Oh, thank you. I got
Show the
Swedish fish.
camera.
I'm obligated to show the camera that I got Swedish fish.
'Cause I love
But no, people haven't been getting into it as much. Other than like I will say that first day, TL versus K Corp, people were on it on social media. They were all over that shit, and that was fun.
Yeah.
K Corp fans mad at me for going at them, blaming them for Twitter going down. It was fun.
I mean, it's the Keycore fans have definitely shown their wild side this one again. I
Yep.
mean, they're almost always wild, but this one they've really jumped even deeper into the we're crazy pool. I mean, their death threats thing does get old after a while, but it's whatever. They're French people. Who really cares?
It just is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot. Like for the people getting them, it probably sucks. I wouldn't enjoy like receiving a death threat, but it's like I don't know. They just send so many. At some point, you just have to be like, whatever, bro.
You block and you move
Like,
on. It's really simple.
Yeah,
in
they're
my
just
opinion.
so crazy. There's not much else you can do. It's like there are so many of you that use death threats or your mom sucks stuff, and it's like, come on, man. Like those never hit. They don't hit in person. They don't hit online,
Nope. Never had.
and they don't make your team any better. That's for sure.
I was half
But it's
tempted to
like-
use a Hamilton meme of when
What is it?
basically when K Corp fans were chirping today because they beat Top
Mhm.
and like the odds of them getting through are still slim to none. There's a Hamilton clip of him debating Thomas Jefferson in the musical, and Thomas Jefferson's arguing that we should be helping the French during their political turmoil at the
Yeah.
time. And Alexander Hamilton's like, no, they helped us win a war, great, but we're still not getting involved in their problems now just because like we technically owe them.
Yeah.
Like, this ain't gonna be the one that we owe them. And he talks about like their king whose head got chopped off and is in a basket. He's like, would you like me to pull it out and ask it? And there was a riff that I was gonna play on, like basically they're still dead. Like regardless, like you can talk, but like you're dead. Say what you want. I ain't doing shit. But I was
mean,
like,
they're
probably not. That's a little too
they're
far.
literally like they're not. I don't know. They're not gonna get through still because they would have to beat Hanwha, and Hanwha looks legitimately unbeatable.
Well,
So
there is the non-zero chance that Top is able to go 1-4. And if that happens, K Corp is through.
oh, okay. So Top would have to lose.
So
They only have
here's
one
the,
more, right?
Here's the caveat that guarantees that they get out, so there's no three-way tie. If K Corp beats us, then it gets complicated because we lost to Top, Top lost to K Corp lost to us. So we don't want that triangle. Optimal situation is Team Liquid beats CFO tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
We get the 2 wins. We are automatically through. We're locked. That then leaves 1 win for Hama Life, or not 1 win for Hama Life. 1 win for CFO, 1 win for Top, 1 win for K Corp. If Top loses to CFO, then regardless of what happens in the Hama Life K Corp series, it would be Top and K Corp tied at 1-4. Head-to-head record. Top is out.
So head to head does count in this.
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
If there's
'cause
two
Riot's been
teams
really...
tied, if there's not 2 teams tied, somebody posted on Twitter. There's like some whole
Okay.
beating the shit out of Top, which I don't see happening. To be very clear.
Oh, hello.
Oh, you there?
Yeah, I am.
Did my internet?
Yeah, I think it did for a second because the stream went down for me,
Oh,
but it's back up.
okay. I don't know. We appear to be back.
No, I think Top. Like, if that happens, it'd be unfortunate. I wouldn't be a fan because I'd like to see Top maybe get through over K-Core. I'm kind of sad that K-Core beat them, to be honest. I do enjoy K-Core and all that, or K-Corp. I don't know what they
I
call
don't.
them. Is it Corp?
It's K Corp.
Okay, it is Corp. My bad. K-Corp is like, I think they're fun when they're in Europe and I can watch them over there. But, like, they're the exact example I use when people tell me, like, whatever it is in America that America's doing that's so bigoted and bad, I'm like, then they're like, America's just the worst, man. How do we do this so bad? I'm like, because we came from there. You should watch what they do. And you'll go, oh yeah, that's why we are the way we are. It's like, have you seen what they do? We're just the worst of them. We're literally all the people who were like, man, I just can't cut it here. I'm gonna go sit on a boat, possibly watch half my family die, and sail over to that place and see how it goes. So it's like, yeah, we're just a crappy version of them who ended up peaking really well. But
My
it's
fa-
like,
my favorite insult that's been going around against North America right now has been like European fans saying like you don't even win with your own talent. And I was like, what does that say about you then? Like you're trying to
yeah,
insult us, but all that does is literally just turn it back on you, being like, okay, so you can't even beat us when we can't. Like, so your people just suck that bad, really? That's what you're going
yeah,
at? And second, like, don't make me bring up the whole remind me who we beat the British with in the Revolutionary War. Oh wait, the British themselves, the rejects of the British that needed
yeah,
anything other than to live under the fucking oppression that was the British government. So we literally
yep,
beat them with their own people then, and we'll beat you with your own people now. Like,
yep.
what do you want me to say here? You're gonna lose this debate no matter what. And I saw Kalis comments on APA. He's like, dude, you talk all the shit you want. Go right ahead. Guess what? You didn't fucking beat him. Too bad. World's smallest violin playing a special French concert just for you.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't. I think Europe at some point just has to accept we are the melting pot and we don't really care.
Well,
Like, we'll take whatever we can to win.
it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible how much Europeans will try and like go to discredit us with the thing that literally is our nation at the core. And it's like they think it's an
Yeah.
insult. It's like, oh, it's basically you're not pure blood. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, in Daniel
Yeah.
Tosh's words, you better get a Harlem in Europe because you sure as fucking got it. Apparently,
I mean, we are pure blood. It bleeds red, white, and blue, baby. It's called freedom.
it comes in many shapes, sizes, and colors. Congrats! It's all the
There-
same color on the inside.
It reminded me today because some guy posted this thing on an aviation group I'm in on Facebook, and he was posting political stuff, but somebody was like screwed with him and it was like, I don't know why you're talking to us. We're the freest people in the world. We don't care, bro. And he was like, and then he starts posting all these freedom indexes and saying, look how low America is on the freedom index. And a guy wrote, you can only show me that because this is America and we're the best in the place. It's like the page you're posting this on is hosted in America. And I was like, that's such a good response. To be like, you can only call us not free because we let you is such a funny way to just be like, we are the ultimate, just like, so cocky. We have to be the most cocky people.
I think we are. There's no doubt. Because what showed me that was when TikTok was rumored to be getting banned, there were a lot of videos of European people coming on the app just saying, like, guys, I don't think you understand. The Americans are fucking hilarious. They're cocky as shit. Like, they are the most arrogant people you ever meet in your life, but it makes for phenomenal content. And we are not ready for a world where the Americans are not on this platform. You don't understand.
Yeah.
And everybody was agreeing. And it was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I mean, that's like the one thing the clip has been played so much I hate hearing it now, but it's still an awesome clip. Is when the French national team is like saying the Team USA doesn't play together for the Olympics. They're like, we have so much more connection and history, and we'll have home court advantage. And Katie's like, you gotta guard Steph though. He's like, how you gonna do that and guard me and guard LeBron? and he's just like, you can't do all that. I just know we'll win. And it's like, that's nuts, bro. To just walk in there and be like, and he's like, no, I hear you. We don't play together all the time, but you can't stop us. Like, even individually. It's so good.
You in chat said Americans are annoying as fuck. Please. Yeah, we are. You got a problem with
Yeah.
that?
That's the point.
That's the entire fucking point
That's
of what
the
we just
beauty.
said. We are annoying as shit. And that's it. Period.
Yeah, oh, yes. That's fair. I can't hate
Hey.
on her, though. I'm pretty sure she's Irish, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I won't hate on the Irish. That's part of
No, especially
where
because
my people came from.
I'm gonna be around people that are gonna be drinking your beer all weekend. So
True. That's true. How great is it that we just see St. Patrick's Day and go, that's pretty sick. Bring
Yep,
that over
we're
here.
gonna do that.
just
We're gonna
like,
do that.
Over, like, that rocks.
I'm
That's
going-
coming here.
I pray to God this cold passes because I'm doing a bottomless happy hour from 6 to 10 at a place called the Mean Fiddler, which is like a well-known Irish bar here in the city.
Mhm.
Dude, I'm getting sloshed.
That's gonna be nuts.
And the DJ comes on at 10, I'm gonna be plastered.
That's gonna be beautiful.
It's gonna be great.
Oh.
I cannot wait. Oh God.
It's just the best.
It's
you
the
know,
American way.
I didn't even think about this. In the spirit of us talking about America, today I re-signed for another year because I had to for the job I'm getting. And they gave me this cup, bro. It says Army National Guard on it, but this is the best part. This bottom piece here, bro.
Made in
It's a Bluetooth speaker.
No way. What?
It's in the cup, bro. And look, for watching it, you take it off. You can just carry the speaker around, but it goes in the cup and just sits in your cup holder, and you can play music as loud as you can off of this speaker. And they were like, the guy looked at me and laughed really hard, and I was like, what is he laughing for? He's like, congrats on resigning. And he started going, and then looks at me and goes, here you go, here's your gift, and tosses me this cup, and I just went, no way. And he goes, turn it on and pair it to your phone, and I did, and start playing music. He went, yeah, we're gonna get a lot of people back these days. And I was like, this is so awesome. He was like, we're up to something.
Oh God, dude.
And you better believe, baby, it's made in China, and the country that it was made, and the company that made it doesn't exist. If you scan any of the QR codes for help on it, they're all shut down websites in 404s.
Yep. We had a similar thing in the office today. It's like I forget what anniversary of Hulu at this point. But we do like a March birthday celebration. They paired it with this. Dude, there were so many cupcakes. It was glorious.
Awesome.
Hold up. I got a picture of it. I think I can show. And it was just our like finance specific team too. But oh my. And this isn't showing, for context, this is not even showing like 3/4 of it.
That's incredible.
And they had like a massive thing on like the backside that had like balloons that were all like Hulu.
Mhm.
All that is like, you know what? This might be better than a pizza party. It's probably
Hey.
the same thing, but you know what? I'll take my
I'm
blueberry.
excited for
I'll
the
take
new
my blueberry
blueberry.
cupcake. Go back to my desk. Go back, steal another cupcake in 10 minutes, and enjoy my life.
Dude, that's the Shane Gillis talks about that. The worst thing about going to a pizza party is when you're the guy who's trying to hide the third slice you took, because the rules always only take two, and he's
Yep.
like, you sit there and eat your two, and then you're like, oops, and you grab a third and run away just as fast as you can.
I did that this morning because we had breakfast with it as well. They had pancakes, French toast, and like fruit and bacon. So
Jeez.
I got 3 pieces of French toast, like 4 pieces of bacon, and a bunch of cantaloupe. I'm like the only one that like stands cantaloupe. It's like the best fruit in the world. That I stand by that
Fair.
statement. I don't fair.
I said fair. That's fair.
Oh, I'm clipping this and sending this to my work group. They're gonna be pissed.
Really?
Yeah, they rag on me every fucking time. The cantaloupe's like the worst fruit. It tastes like nothing. To which I couldn't say this
I
in the
mean-
office afterwards. I was going to say pussy tastes like nothing as well. Yeah, it's my favorite thing in the world.
Oh
So, you know,
my
what am I
goodness.
like?
That's insane. I
I
can't
couldn't say that in the
say much.
office, but
I can't say much on fruit because I only consume fruit in smoothie form. I hate
nah.
like the textures of fruit, so I just grind them up until it tastes good. Some protein in that thing, and just go. Here's budget smoothie king and sip it.
Oh, God. That might
I'm
have
a
been the most
wuss.
out of pocket comment I think I've ever made on this podcast.
100% was.
I've been waiting all day to say it, though, and I couldn't say it in the office because, like, that's not
Yeah,
something you can say in the
walking-
office. But, like,
Walking HR
yep. But as
violation.
like the second that happened, I sat there. I bit the corner of my tongue and was just like,
Yep.
nope, I love cantaloupe. We're just gonna.
They have no idea that America's better than Europe at League of Legends. You just sit there in the corner. They just don't know.
Oh, God. Oh, it's so good. Although there's one guy in the office that now follows me on TikTok and like knows about like League and everything else, and will ask about it occasionally.
Really?
But
That's pretty awesome.
well,
Well, I will
But-
say, this is going back to the TLKC thing, but Cloud said that Callista apparently said APA is just like worthless, apparently. Like it's just TL's one of the worst teams they played and APA is worthless. And that made me so happy to read that because you know that means he got in his head, bro.
yep, 100%.
100% got in his head.
That's the best. That's what I love about it. Did you hear the reason why he has his mustache? Apparently,
No, why is he
because
happy?
nobody his age, understandably, has a mustache like that, and people think it just doesn't make sense and it fucks with them. So he has that mustache just because
It's pretty awesome.
people can't like comprehend why somebody his age would have that mustache, and he just does it just to throw you off your game. That's
I
that
mean,
tiger.
that's why.
The more I learn about this kid, the more I fucking love him. I swear to God, he's got that Tiger Woods mentality that is just
does.
next level, and I love it. I love every minute of it. You know, and it's that sports background. He grew up a wrestler. Wrestling is one of those sports where like you have to have like insane mental to be able to bounce back from
Yeah.
really shitty situations, and it shows. My dude will run games down, and the next game
Yep.
just come back like nothing ever happened.
And Jan is just a psycho right now. He's playing like he's the best ADC in the West. Like I actually kind of believe it. And I know some people like want to say still push Masu, and I think Masu is still great. But there's no way you watch what Jan's doing to these people and you don't think it's him. He's kind of playing nuts right now. Although I know the TESCs, that was what it was. Everybody kind of collapsed.
I was gonna
But-
say he was in a position to win that game one, but his team literally died around him.
Yeah, they just collapsed. It was what it was. And it is nice. It's just so nice knowing that EU has to sit here yet again. They think somebody new, maybe Fresh Blood will be the savior, and they just keep getting beat. And they're like, oh, your region's dying. It's like, bro, even in our worst form, we're slowly trickling away. We still beat you. You still can't get over this hump, and it's just beautiful.
So here's the curse timeline that I desperately need. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. We beat CFO tomorrow, and then we pull
Yeah.
off the miracle upset against Hama Life. Okay. Nobody's expecting it. It's phenomenal. Like, we're happy. Life is great. People are
Yeah.
shocked. Awesome. CFO beats top, which means that K Corp gets in as the 4th seed. It's Hama Life versus CFO as 2 versus 3, and Europe versus North America in a best of 5 to go to finals.
Oh,
Because we would be
could
first
get-
seed because we would
Yeah.
have the tiebreaker over Hama Life. Hama Life gets
Oh,
forced down to
man.
2. CFO is above K Corp, and then we get the EU versus NA 1 versus 4 seed guaranteed go to finals.
Is it basically that, and then so that happens, or the only other one is that top beats CFO and we just watch K Corp get knocked out? That would be very funny as well.
Is there?
I think
Okay,
beating them
is
would
that-
be much funnier, but the only other one I'm willing to live with or that I want to have happen is that Cape Core doesn't even make it. That would
I agree.
kill me.
Like
That'd be so
okay,
funny.
it has to be one of the two for me. Either if K Corp
Yeah.
makes it, I want to play them. If they,
Yep.
the problem is I don't think there's any way for them to get the 3 seed. Is there?
Anyway.
We would have to get 2. They would have to get 3.
No.
I don't think
No, there's no way for them to get
because
3.
they would. It would have to be like a 3-way tiebreaker scenario with us, CFO, and K Corp, because it can't be any like even if they win their final game versus top, they're at best 2-2.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Well,
no.
Hanwha.
Hang
They
on.
play Hanwha.
It could be us. Actually, there's a scenario where CFO drops. No, CFO can't drop out, can they?
I mean, there's just no way they beat Hanwha.
No. What, TL?
I know it's like no K Core.
Oh no,
I
I'm
just
not.
don't
I'm
believe
not
it's
counting on
possible.
them beating K Corp. But like, or not
Wasn't that the
beating
only
Humble.
series they have left?
It is, but I'm. Oh yeah, you're right. Never mind. I'm really overthinking it. Yeah, so they're
Like
getting,
that's the only way they could get through, and I just don't think they can beat them.
No, you're right. They can't. So like realistically, it's on us to be able to beat Hava Life to
Yeah.
try and get that 1 seed, and then K Corp gets through as 4. That's the only way
Yeah.
that we would be able to do it. Which imagine a best of 5 after both these sides have been talking shit the entire time
Yeah.
to go to finals. Oh, it'd be so hype.
Yeah. It'd be a lot. What do you think about the power rankings that Fly moved up with TL?
Dude, that's some bullshit.
Did you think that was annoying? I thought it was a little annoying. I was not a fan. I thought Fly
Okay.
or TL should be above Fly now. At least.
Mechanically, I get why Fly would move up, because then losing to a team that beat K Corp or that is like higher in the standings internationally, like it bumps them up as well. They do see residual effect of that, but there is no world where TL should not be above FlyQuest, because barring that quarterfinals appearance, that's the only thing that FlyQuest did that's like tangibly better than TL. TL made it farther in EWC, which I know that doesn't count. TL made it way farther in MSI. FlyQuest was out in the group stage there. TL's now at this international tournament. Like, there's no world where TL should not be above FlyQuest in those standings.
Because they had to legitimately like shove them way up the ladder to give them that kind of ranking, which I know Top also helped them get up there, but I just don't understand how I don't get how these work, because they're so weird the way these rankings function.
It's flawed.
It just makes no sense. They just like pretty much randomly give people a ton of points, but nothing counts against you for how you did regionally, because realistically, FlyQuest got 3rd, 4th. They should be way below TL. You would think. But apparently that it doesn't count at all.
Yeah.
Like, against you. It just seems strange to me. Because G2 also should have moved way down. A 7th place team losing to a 20 whatever, they were probably back in 30 before they won.
Yep.
And they find no problems with that. They're just like, whatever happens. Just doesn't make any sense.
No,
to me.
it doesn't. The world rankings are problematic at their core. It's not good. But any other thoughts on first dance of? Oh, what I want to get your thought on the overlay. It has improved pretty significantly, I will say, from the first day.
Yeah, I mean, I said at first I'm not a fan because it's different, but I'm hoping it'll grow on me. And I can't say it's really like grown on me too much. I still think it's really difficult to tell what you're looking at compared to the old stuff. And maybe I still need it to grow a little, but I just swear it looks so weird.
So here's the last remaining thing that I think they need to upgrade pretty massively. And it's the score bug on the top left. Everything else I think they've kind of fixed enough to the point where I'm okay with it. I wish it would be a little bit smaller in terms of size, but that score bug, when reading left to right, the logos and like team, like lettering should be way bigger. I'd like it to be transparent, kind of like the LCS overlay or the LTA overlay is, and then immediately have gold right next to that. And then in smaller text, have towers and kills, or kills then towers. I think that's the way, because I want to see gold immediately. Like, that is your number one comparison point. Objectives, sure, are important, but like, if you're looking at a snapshot of the game, it is the team, it is the gold, it is the kills. That is like the three that we care about. And there's just too much there. I agree with Colin in chat. There's way too much there. That simplify it, make it look cleaner, and then I'm fine with that score bug being up there. I'm fine with it not being this massive thing in the middle that like blocks everything anymore. Like, I like having more of the screen available for gameplay, but I just don't like some of the ways of which they went about it.
I can kind of see what you're saying. If they do that, I pulled up a game and paused it just to look at it again. I think if you do what you said there, I think that does help a lot. The kill feed is incredibly small now.
The kill feed, I don't mind the kill feed being small, because like, how often are you actually paying attention to the kill feed?
I like to see the stuff there for like when objectives die as well.
Yeah, sure.
Like, just for and I like the kill feed because it looks the same as in game in the older overlays, and it's just like, it's what my eyes look at to see who got the kills. It's a lot harder to tell when you're watching there, which I know you can kind of tell who kills, who last hits usually, but sometimes there's close ones, and I'm interested who got it. And I don't love having to do this every time I'm curious who got the kill going. Oh, because I know I should just put on my glasses and get over it, but that would be too easy of an answer. So I'm going to complain.
Of course. I'm looking at it now, like re-looking back at it and have it up on the side screen. I just think, first and foremost, also, there should never be a world where you're rotating through important objectives. Like, dragons need to be below that score bug. You cannot have dragons and feats rotating consistently.
Yeah,
they both need to be, like, dragons need to be on screen at all times. I should be able to look at the screen fairly quick and get a snapshot of where things are at.
Yeah.
I feel like they've definitely made it better, for sure. I like, especially during team fights, like the amount of open space that is there, for sure. I like that they swap things over to the side. That is really, really nice. But it's just that score bug in the top left that's just like, I like that. And then what I wish they would do is, I mean, I guess they have the goal differential there now, so you don't like have to worry about it as much, because that goal differential was not there on day one. I like to look at CS numbers. Like, that's a big thing for me whenever I'm watching. Is like, I want to be able to look at like, how much CS does Jackie Love have? How much CS does Kalist have? And like, we'll know goal, but like, if your gold is even and I'm looking at a CS differential, like, you're able to deduce a lot from that for me. But
no, yeah,
I would like to be able to look at those two side by side. Now that they have the goal comparison, I think it's more fine. Still not my favorite, but I still think this has potential. Like, what they've changed and what they've upgraded to over the last few days, I think has massive, massive potential. But I just want that score bug on the top left revamped a little bit. I feel like it could be a lot cleaner than it is right now.
I agree with that. You clean it up, it looks a lot better.
Because like one of my favorite things with the LTA overlay is, I don't know if you've ever like gone back and like looked at it from the split. They're able to shade everything in the colors of the teams. So like 100 Thieves has like their proper logo with like red shading behind it and it kind of gradients out. And then like TL has blue, or Shopify has green, and like it brings the individual like color element to it. On this scoreboard, they just have red side, blue side. And it loses that individuality for the teams, which I get might be easier from a viewer point, but I like 100 Thieves no matter what side I'm on. I want to see like the red of my team somewhere on that.
Yeah, and also really, the smallness of the team logos is whack.
Yeah, that bugs the shit out of me.
It's just small. Yeah. Like, it's a lot of info that they crammed down the longer you stare at it. But I guess it is what it is. I don't know. I mean, the player cams are basically worthless now. You might as well get rid of them.
Yeah.
You can't see them, really.
That I'm not sure. I don't know. It's going to
Good
be
choice.
interesting when we go back to the LTA North to see how we view that relative to this. It'll be pretty
Yeah.
cut and dry. Speaking of changes, though, I called it for the record.
Yeah.
I
I forgot about this
I
one.
called it bar for fucking bar, and
You
y'all doubted me. Y'all are like, "Really? You think you're gonna do it?" It's like, yes. The writing's on the wall. Fearless Draft is 100% here to stay. We could deal with the problems later. It is a universally loved change. I get some people were worried. I listened to Cloud and like the LTA report earlier, and they were worried about like, well, it sets the precedent. If people are unhappy, then they're going to be forced to change it. It's like, no, it doesn't. Right? I can just put their foot down and say no. But like when it's a universally good change, you should make it. And that's what they did here, and I'm really happy they did. Because Fearless Draft is fucking amazing. It's not revolutionary. It doesn't like change the meta. So like I heard LS talking about like Iron Man Fearless, which is like whenever you ban a champion, it's also banned for the rest of the series. To which I was like, no. Like I don't want it to go that far. Jesus Christ. Like
Yeah.
I just don't want to see the same two champions played game after game. Like I love it like
No,
that.
yeah.
Even though Khan is in the chat as always, it's not amazing at all. Too bad.
I
Yays
know
one.
Khan hates it a lot. I mean, the thing is, it's tough because I know First Stand isn't getting good viewership. I don't blame Fearless for that.
Neither
I
do I.
think First Stand is a whole lot of things, but I think Fearless was gonna win out anyways because it showcases not just more champs, but it's more skins.
Yep.
Like you got to think if the whole point of this is selling skins, and that's what it allegedly is, and that's why it keeps getting paid for, and that's why it won't ever die. That's the whole reason Riot says that they're keeping it alive. Then you would think they would want as many different skins as possible, having a chance to be on in the series played, and everybody wants best of threes and not best of ones. So they can in best of ones it'd be really hard to guarantee,
Yeah.
to not have that happen. But in best of threes, they can. They can show you as much of their product as possible. They can basically force teams to have to play at least 2 different games of different skins.
Yeah.
And you can't think like that just makes sense from their business perspective. If this is all they're doing is trying to sell skins now with the products.
Let me ask you, have you noticed anything on game quality? Has it been tangibly different for you?
Like it being worse?
Yeah.
I don't think it's much worse if the good teams are playing. I think it's worse for bad teams, yes.
Yeah.
But bad teams were always playing bad anyways. I think it's also hard to judge it from this first split because I don't think every team cared too much.
No. I think like spring is
I
going to
think
be whenever
NA
you
took
really...
it serious. I think NA, like, teams seemed to really care about it. Like, genuinely, I didn't get the vibe we didn't. But it kind of felt like LPL and LCK were screwing around. And it definitely felt like G2 was just kind of like, whatever, man, another long year,
That's what I feel like. So many of the problems that people are assuming are related to Fearless Draft are not due to Fearless Draft. It's due to people simply not taking the split seriously because they weren't sure what to like. They didn't care about the LCK Cup. They weren't sure whether Fearless was going to be like here to stay. The step up between this and spring is going to be pretty heavy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's my prediction on that. And I saw one other comment that I think it was Khan. Yeah, he talked about like mid-series adjustments. You act like those can't be a thing in Fearless. You can adjust for what you know is coming next. Like it's not like the series doesn't follow a traditional flow over the course of Fearless Draft. Like we know
there's more adjustments because of Fearless. What?
Yeah. That part I don't understand.
I don't get it.
But it's like, oh, but you have to make an adjustment to beat this one specific champion. Sure, you don't have to make an adjustment to beat that one specific champion, but you know what the player's next champion in their pool is. And you can really
Teams had to
500
make
IQ it.
adjustments mid-series, bringing out picks that teams had to play against multiple times. I don't understand how those work together. That was very niche. You know how many times we watched the same champs played over and over again? You know how many times we watched
95% of the time.
Aatrox during DRX's Worlds? I'm pretty sure Aatrox was in almost every game, if not banned.
Yep.
Like, I
Dude,
don't think that was adjustments.
Did I watch
I think it
LCK?
was.
Did I watch LCK this year? Yeah, I watched LCK, but it was my first
Yeah,
time
you
ever
said it
watching
was-
LCK, and I had a blast watching it. Like,
And we said it was bad. Like the play was worse.
Yeah.
I think only NA took it serious. And NA is the only one where I thought the play was decent. Like you could tell, like you can't tell me that Fly was playing really bad and TL didn't have to step up. Or yeah. No, I said that right. Because Fly, you can't tell me Fly was playing bad. Yes, okay. I'm right. But Fly was playing good, and then 100 Thieves absolutely pops off and beats Fly. Whether, like, upset or not, whatever you want to call it. They beat them. And then TL goes way above and beyond what we saw from them the first couple weeks and beats C9 and then beats 100 Thieves handily.
Yeah.
And I don't see how you sit there and go like, oh, that was just terrible play because it was so bad. Like, blah, blah, blah. No, the Archie, you can't say that. We called LCK bad. We said they don't care about the game, so it wouldn't be a good product.
It's the point is it's not a fair comparison to begin with. Like, because again, it is a split.
Oh, that okay? Is that what he's meaning?
No, I'm
All right,
agreeing
my
with
fault.
you. I'm disagreeing with the point
okay.
being made there. I agree. It's worse than it was before, but again, it is due to factors that we don't believe are fearless. As for the whole game 5 point, look, I hate to tell you guys this. Like, you can die on your hill if you want. That's fine. By all means, I have my little hills that I die on. But you got to understand that you are in the vast, vast minority on this issue. Every time a poll is asked, every time somebody talks about it on social media that's not somebody that's been ingrained in the scene for a long period of time, it is met with overwhelming positivity. Go look at the comment section of any of my TikToks on it. There's hundreds supporting it. Like, this is a universally accepted good change for the entertainment of the esport. And we are balancing competition and entertainment. And that's it. And you have to strike a balance that works. We're only the minority because the people that don't like it left. Brother, I can't.
They were leaving anyways.
They were going to leave anyways.
Game's not
I'm
dying
sorry.
'cause of
No,
Fearless.
like,
Game's been dead, brother.
entertainment's all less engagement. Con, for the love of fucking God, I'm not doing this again.
Here, I will say this. His example was the MF Zyra bot lane. I'm just gonna make the point that was 9 years ago, buddy. A lot of people have left. That's why they gotta change the format. Like, that's the last time. That's the most. Like, that's the biggest example everybody has. Is they always go, think about that Rocks Tigers SKT one. Yeah, brother, I was in high school. Like, that's a long time ago. I've had an 8-year military career since that, entering 9th. That's a long time. You can't,
we don't have any. We don't have many better examples. Is like the thing is like that's the one that we all default to because like it is the biggest and like best example of it because there's not any bigger or better examples since that point or anything that matches up to that caliber.
The only other one is EDG that I can think of when they purposefully got Faker to pick his LeBlanc, and then he goes and I'll let you think or whatever.
Link, thank you for the 10 community gifted. I appreciate it. And Mystic, IC Nova, thank you for the follow.
Then you have EDG locks in the Morg mid, who makes the huge, play like they completely push them into picking the LeBlanc with the huge counter. Which, yes, huge, awesome thing that happened. But that's gonna happen with Fearless as well. There's gonna be adaptation because it's forced upon you. Literally, you have to adapt.
Lunar, you said I forgot about Misfortune or Misfits T1. Brother, that was 1 year after that in 2017. That was still 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's a long time.
That's 8. You have 2 examples over the course of 2 years and then nothing for 8 years after that.
And like, how many people nowadays who are new to the game know who Misfits was.
Okay,
Like,
Con,
that's
Con, I'm going to shut down your fucking point right now. I can use things that are about entertainment when it is overall sentiment about the product. It doesn't have to be shown in full numbers because guess what? You might have been losing those numbers anyways, even if you didn't change this. Sometimes entertainment is about community sentiment, which is more positive than it was before. You want to keep bringing up numbers, I'm going to keep fucking telling you that the numbers are not comparable right now based on everything that we're seeing around us. That this split 1 is not the same as everything else, or we were on a natural decline due to 3 splits, but it has nothing to do with Fearless. You do not see people up in arms, barring the very vocal minority, that are like, oh, I'm going to stop watching because of Fearless Draft. The overall community sentiment has raised exponentially. And that is more inducive for growth than what was happening before. We talk all the time about wanting to put ourselves in positions to grow. No one, Con, stop fucking mentioning watching or that nobody's watching Fearless. How many times do I have to repeat myself that you cannot use this one split as your end all be all, it didn't work, entertainment's this. We have 20 other factors that are at play here that you are just blaming on one particular thing. Nobody on this show is trying to fucking claim that Fearless solved everything or that it's a universal fix. We're saying that it is a universally agreed upon by the majority of the community as a net positive that is more conducive for growth.
I think honestly, we just have to kill talking about it viewership wise until MSI and Worlds happen.
Yes, that when those
Until
happen,
they
we
happen.
will absolutely talk about it.
Yeah, if they're way worse, then fine. Like if people legitimately won't watch because of Fearless for Worlds and MSI, then fine. But also, like a lot of people saying people are leaving watching because of Fearless. Who? Because everyone I know complaining.
That's my thing. Paul cut out. I'll fill in that gap for now.
Oh, I did. My bad. Am I still out?
Either you did or I did, one of the two, and it doesn't
Well,
look
I'm
like
back.
it doesn't look like mine cut out. Keep
But
going.
I think if Worlds and MSI are actually down, then fine. Like, I'll take it. I'll accept that Fearless is this terrible thing that didn't work. But until we see that, how can we know? Like, legitimately, how do we know?
Yeah.
You can't just sit here and like keep saying, "Oh, this event that's the first time it's ever back," or first time it's ever happening in first stand is worthless, and people just don't care for it. I don't know what to tell
People have been ragging on the split. Like the community reaction to those that are watching has universally been, we hate the fucking format. We hate this like first split thing, but we love Fearless. And you have no feedback from those that are leaving. Like with the LTA, there's so much feedback from people that have left. Like the people that have stopped watching have told you why they stopped watching.
Yeah.
The LCK is mostly stable for the most part. Like their dip in split 1. Again, we can't even compare viewership there, but like we'll see. Again, we'll use this upcoming split as a benchmark. If this is still a conversation point, if viewership is still at that point, fine. But like this is getting to the point where we're just looking at every individual number at every little moment in time, which if it's really bad, I do. And I'm not saying the numbers are great right now. But what I'm saying is you have to give it at least a little bit of time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean you just can't judge it normally because there's no T1, no G2. And those are two of the biggest teams in the world.
I mean, I'm willing to say like that part I disagree with. That I think you can still judge events based on like not having them, but you can't judge this one is the problem. This event is the anomaly.
I guess that's fair.
Did I have my expectations? Yeah, I said what 80% of MSI would be the goal, and we're not hitting that. But again, not to beat a dead fucking horse, but I kind of have to at this point because I feel like I have to repeat it. I don't think that's due to Fearless.
My thing is, I'm like using T1 and G2 is because I think that does affect this event being so new. Like you take a new event, combine it with your most popular teams, like Gen G, T1, G2 not being there, and you're just having a recipe for disaster, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's a brand new event. People already don't really care about Winter Split. I mean, we're just seeing it in every single region. But I would say NA. I feel like NA has had really good engagement on it, but every other region has been pretty like, this is dumb. Why is this
Well,
happening?
I mean,
EU semi cared when
the problem
KC
is
won.
NA cares for the people that are remaining, but we lost so many that it's like
True,
it's ugh.
true. And then it's like, so you take out all of those. G2 isn't that popular? Whatever, bro. There's no way. G2 is so popular.
I Con
That can't be
said,
real, is it?
and this is the last time because
Are they
I'm
not? Maybe I'm wrong. Is G2 not in the top usually for EU?
top 3 easily. I'd argue K Corp 1, MKOI 2, and then G2 Fnatic 3-4.
Okay.
I would put them up there. But this is the last time I want to
Do you
address
think-
chat because I want us
Yeah.
to be able to like get back on topic without just arguing the entire time. Con said it's clearly
Yeah.
not bringing in the viewers' interest, which is what everyone tells me why we were moving to Fearless full time. You are intentionally listening to people with that narrative point and letting it dictate everything. That's like me. Let me use a political example. That's like me listening to my racist uncle and assuming that every single person that is right leaning believes what he believes. You're listening to a specific group of people that are objectively wrong in that situation and just assuming and running with it. I'm not. How am I? Con, you want to come in chat? You want to hop in right now? I'll bring you in.
But also, I will say this too. I think G2 gets more overall European engagement than KC does. I think a lot of Europeans will not tune into an international with KC because they hate KC. Is that a fair thing to say?
I think so. Okay, Con, how am I one of those people?
Because you're one of the people pushing that Fearless is the thing that all the viewers want.
All
I'm saying,
the existing viewers? Yes. The
they're
majority
not showing up to watch it.
What do you Brother, what do you think the word fucking existing viewers means? It means of the people currently watching the event right now, the overwhelming majority agree that it is a good thing. That you can't sit here and tell me that's an objectively wrong statement.
Sure, the 50% of the global audience you're used to getting for an international tournament may be one saying Fearless is good, but they're also 100% of the global audience that comes back no matter the format because they want to watch professional league. They don't.
Do you think if this wasn't Fearless, it would have more viewers?
Great question.
It'd probably have similar viewers. I don't think it'd have more. I think it'd have similar. I don't think
so. Then it's not Fearless. Well, if what you're
If
saying
MSI
is that
my problem is you're changing the format, saying it's a solution for something, and it's not even a solution for something.
No, I'm saying it's a potential for something. I'm saying it's the potential for growth. It is a universally loved decision by those that are watching it at a hardcore level. It adds a little bit more diversity to things, which I think is much needed in a fairly stale game otherwise. And I think it allows for the potential for growth. But overall, I don't think it changes enough to the point where we're going to see massive viewership spikes or dips at all. It just makes it a more refreshing product to watch. But I think everything else, but as long as the split one change doesn't fuck us, and people really didn't care because they tuned out after the split one because nobody cared, like, I'm worried about that having a similar impact to what the LCS walkout did. But I don't think that has anything to do with Fearless.
I mean, I think my frustration with this is coupling with the whole lane swap change too, and it just because one we're pushing Fearless now in a situation where we're forcing standard lanes, and I think the forcing standard lanes already makes drafting in a regular format so important. But now you add Fearless on top of it. I just think you're going to get more stomps. You're going to get more draft gaps. They're changing so much of the product out of nowhere right now. And people are all saying, "Oh, this is amazing! This is great! This is great!" And then they're going to come back and they're not listening to people who understand and know the game to realize, "Oh, this actually might not be great."
Do you think if viewership does well at MSI and Worlds, that Fearless is fine then?
Yeah.
Or does viewership not matter to you at all?
No, viewership is definitely the most important thing in some ways because, especially for
Okay.
international events, that is like the one area Riot can claim that there's growth in. Really,
So I agree. So why are we harping so fucking much on like the negative side of this rather than just allowing it to fucking happen? Like what my question is, like we talk about this all the time when it comes to other changes with North America where it's like something positive happens, there's always somebody in the fucking comments harping on the negative side. Sometimes you can just let the positive people be positive rather than having to force the counterpoint in there just because you want the narrative to be there. Like you can
Because
let people enjoy a good thing that they see as a good thing. No,
you can. Also, I think the draft arguments I always read are that the drafts are like winning games. The drafts have been winning games forever.
but the percentage like blue side win rate is insanely high with Fearless to begin with.
Yeah, but then you had that insane moment in the Fnatic KC series where Fnatic picks red and then wins, and then KC picks red and then wins. So you have those are huge adaptations to the draft too, like that you're asking for. Because you asked for that earlier. You said where are the adaptations? That's a series I can think of off the top of my head.
That was always a good point. But when I think of adaptations, and I think of moments, and even a more recent one, like people like Faker playing Galio all 5 games in a Worlds final, like that was actually a hype moment for fans. People love that as like.
I thought that's why we need Fearless.
Yeah,
that's
No,
like
no, people actually love that. People love the fact that he just played the 5 games in a row of Galio.
I didn't hear a lot of people say they
It was
loved
like
it.
one of the top posts on Reddit that how I liked it at the time.
I mean,
How awesome it was.
It was a unique pick at the time, but like you can still pull those out, and like it still means a lot whenever you get like even a game of Faker Galio. But then again, the expectation changes. Of okay, sure, like you're focusing on the thing that was hype in that moment, but you're not allowing something new to be hype on its own in future moments. You're just assuming that what was cool then has to be cool now when it can change and be different. No?
There's a little bit of that. I mean, as somebody who did watch like the best of 5 full 5-game series from like the LPL and stuff, those games 4 and 5 were terrible to watch.
But again, we've already established with this entire split that around the world people did not take it as seriously as you would have wanted them to. So that affects like that is in combination with Fearless. I agree that Fearless does have somewhat of an impact on that. I'm not disagreeing with that. But I'm saying I think the bigger culprit that will show itself in time if we allow it time to be shown is that people just did not treat this split like they should have.
I think that's a pretty big cop out answer in some ways. Because here's why. Because there's even people who've been a part of Fearless in other ways from last year and stuff who say, no, this current system with Game 4, Game 5 does create major problems like that. Who have been doing Fearless for over a year now, saying the current system, they don't say it's teams not playing serious, so they say that's your average Game 4 and Game 5 in Fearless.
I think, I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of that is because so few people were doing Fearless that the information asymmetry that existed in those individual moments caused that. But the more people go to 4 and 5 games, the more we are in the system, the more it will flush itself out. You are simply like, if you're using beta testers in a way to try and put that on everybody, like the product as a whole, whenever it's mass assimilated. Like the biggest people that were speaking out against Fearless in this offseason were NACL people. And all of them raised the same thing that they said now this year was that, maybe having the people that are still trying to develop as players be the ones playing Fearless was not the best idea. But having the pros at the top that should have a more a diverse champion pool, then it's a different story. And I've seen every NACL caster that hated Fearless last year come out and be like, yeah, okay, this is pretty cool at the pro level.
Yeah, so I have my feelings on it. I am just tired of seeing so many people being like, "This is for the viewers. This is for the viewers. This is for the viewers." And it's like,
ignore them.
Dude, that's everybody's reason. It feels like.
But okay, and I can go on social media right now, and I can have a billion people telling me that Trump is the reason why America is saved right now. If I chose to listen to them, I could drive myself in a whole fucking rabbit hole, or you can just continue on and let people do their thing, and we will see as time goes on.
That's always fair.
Like the biggest thing I just want is I want time, and I want to avoid like this thing that I did last year, which was dogpiling negativity onto otherwise positive moments. If we can't sit here and when you see people enjoying something, just let them enjoy it. And if the red flag that you're saying is going to come true does come true when it's time for MSI and Worlds, absolutely you should 100% be clipping everything, putting it out there, like absolutely being on top of it. But for now, let it unfold, let it happen, and don't blow your load on the argument that you validly can have in the future this early.
That's that's fair. Just
I
again,
know people
I
are
just-
annoying, but
I think there's just so many factors and stuff, and for me, I don't like the fact that we pushed Fearless out so quick. I don't like the fact that we pushed Fearless out with the lane swap change, and I don't like the fact that with the reasons that will be given is because of stuff that doesn't have any backup information to it. For me, it screams of desperation.
See, it's weird because I view it the opposite way. I view this as finally getting some change that, like, it feels like Riot operated like the government for such a long period of time and was so slow to give us anything. So I get why people would get whiplash when this change happens to go through so quick when Riot has a massive history of playing it safe and waiting. And especially, as you said, given all the other changes that we've had this offseason, fine. But, like, I think we also have a responsibility to take a step back and be like, okay, I know this is too much change. I know this is a lot at once, but we can objectively say that this isolated thing, or we can at least like look at this thing in isolation from everything else without needing to bring everything else onto it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, I just wanted to hash that rather than us sitting and arguing over messages.
I was
it's
ready
way
to-
easier to come in and just talk about it.
I was ready to drop it in the messages too because there's more stuff. Speaking of which, is there any news about the thing Arsh was teasing today about NA Avengers assembling?
Yeah, no, I have no clue. I hate when people fucking behave like that. I have no clue what it is.
I do too.
It's annoying as shit.
But I'm gonna let you guys get back to your podcast.
All right, thank you, man. I appreciate the debate. That's Con, everybody. Called in the Hotline League. Sorry that I wanted to hijack the podcast for just a minute just to argue that out because I was getting frustrated. And it's just easier to talk it out than it is for us to go back and forth in chat.
Okay, I give it.
What?
First Stand actually has a smaller gap between blue and red side winning than last year's Worlds.
What?
Yes. First Stand currently has a smaller gap than last year's Worlds. So I went to look at that and see if that's right. So I don't know.
That's why. Were people complaining about that back then?
No, nobody
well-
ever cared about blue and red side who wins more. They did. Yes, people back always have complained about how one has the advantage over the other.
Was it obnoxiously more then than it was now?
Oh, then no. No, I've never heard people get this mad as now. I mean, LS would have his rants,
Yeah.
and a lot of people's data they're using of like, oh, blue has this much though in these leagues and other leagues and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, there's a huge gap for LTA split one. That one was like a 68% win rate or whatever.
I also
But it's like,
I also do think in the defense of Worlds, there were way more games played. And a better and a better
First
sample
Stand.
size. So it's like
yeah. Well, that would be my argument for all of these.
Yeah, is that there's not
The
enough
split
sample
one,
size.
either A, you could attribute it to, do teams care about winter split? Highly doubt it. We had trouble with teams caring about spring.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, I mean, one, like, maybe that's a whole other conversation we need to have after this year is going to be, does Riot really think that winter split is a success, or is this a complete failure? And that's up to them. They'll probably want to give it 2 years, if I had to guess. And they're not going to want to cut it for EU, at least, because EU had crazy numbers for it. But then you'll have to gauge, like, as time goes on, if Fearless starts to have the gap close, between blue and red side win rates, does all of a sudden it become this great thing that saved the game? I highly doubt. I think people who hate it, honestly, are just going to hate it forever.
We'll see. Again, I'm just gonna wait till the end of the year, and
Simply out of spite, if anything, they'll just hate it.
yeah,
I have no idea.
we'll see. Like, just same thing I said before. I think we just give it time, and like, I just hope that the people that are enjoying Fearless can enjoy it without social media going down their throat on it. Like, that's what I want.
Oh yeah, EU lost viewership from 24 to 25 winter. They went from 830 to 800. Ooh,
And notably with
Big cut.
Abai not streaming.
Really? They
Yeah.
didn't?
Abai didn't stream this time. He helped out
Hmm.
occasionally with MCoy's thing, but he was not streaming the entire time the same way that he was last year.
Oh,
So
well,
if
his
any-
Necro guy does, though.
Yes, but it's not the same. So
I guess it's
in my
fair.
mind, I think it's fairly like EU viewership then is in a really good spot. If they only lost 30K from Abai not streaming, like not being the figurehead there, and his replacement was pretty much stable, that's good. That's real good.
Yeah. I'm not willing to call 30K loss of viewership. When you're in America, that'd be the end.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
For 830 to 800, that's not as bad.
You got to look at it as a percentile change. Like,
Yeah.
let me pull up a calculator real quick. Let's just do this real quick.
And we might, honestly, I know this is going to make people annoyed, but maybe we're just doubting the poll that Fnatic and G2 had when it was always them in the finals, or, a Mad Lions. Somebody more likable.
Do you know what the percent change is on that?
Hmm.
It's 3%.
That's small? 3%?
3%. That's it.
That's fine.
The LTA change, we went from what? 110 to like 79 or something like that for just like the North American
Yeah.
thing. That's like
Yeah,
that's a 40% change.
Yeah, that would crush us.
That's what I'm saying. Like your percentile changes are more important than the actual number itself.
And I think genuinely, I have underestimated, and I'm seeing it now, that the average EU viewer genuine does not like watching K-Corp.
Yeah.
Like, if they start winning, they tune out. I think they don't like them.
But I will say that K-Corp fans still show up.
Oh, they show up in mass, which isn't a problem. I'm just
Yep.
meaning, like, it's kind of like one of those things where, if Indiana makes an NBA Finals, if it was Indiana and Oklahoma City, people would be like, the NBA is dead and dying.
Yeah.
In an NBA Finals. Would all those fans go crazy? Yes. Indiana and Oklahoma would go wild. Are there a lot of them, of both of them? Yeah, in the grand scheme of life, there's a lot of both. They're pretty cool, whatever. But they're nowhere near the legacy orgs of the
the
NBA.
big market teams, quote unquote.
Yeah. They're nowhere near those. And Casey, while it can fill out a stadium really well, and it's really cool, and people want to love it, like, you gotta think, like, if you're constantly the heel, people are gonna tune out of you at some point.
The question,
Just how it is.
The question is going to be, and here's where I think people are not seeing the upside of Europe. Eventually, somebody will be seen as the opposite, like the anti K.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's already happening.
Who do you think it
It's
is?
Los Ratones. It can't be an existing brand. It can't be a G2 or a Fnatic because they already have established presences. And The reality is their fans kind of butt heads with K Corp a little bit, but like they aren't like G2 has a history of like kind of doing some shitty things as an org, and like the fan base kind of just is what it is. Fnatic fans, like people have found them obnoxious for the longest period of time. The Rats, they are quite literally the opposite of what K Corp
They
is.
are.
They are just as terminally online. They are up there in numbers with K Corp. Now, granted, they don't show out to stadiums the same way, but they are literally the opposite in every way, shape, or form of what K Corp is. And Los Ratones versus, like, we're going to get our first taste of that at EU Masters in, what, a week and a half? And it's going to be
Yeah.
glorious.
It will. And I think that is a good point. Like that would be the heel to it, because like the only difference for NA was when they really had, TSM. Like obviously, I think a lot of people were happy that they wouldn't win internationally, even if it meant the region suffered. And like, but TSM just at that time had pull in an insane way, so it could work. I think K Corp is like they're working there, but you can tell. I mean, if you look at this first stand and you want to judge anything by the viewership, it's that all of these orgs, while growing, have some work to do.
Yeah.
Other than TL, I mean, TL's maxed out. Like, NA just doesn't pull. But you got to think like the EU and the Korean team and the LPL team, they all need to be held to like feet to the fire. Why can't you pull? That'd be my question for them. Because you got to.
Again.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so it's